And it's a valid point that you bring up, and that's why I wanted to investigate it with you properly. I think he emotionally invests quite a lot into his films, more than what your normal director does, sort of thing. And he puts his heart and soul into stuff. Now, before I get into why he does that, I want to just remind you historically where we are when this film comes out. Man had not yet walked on the moon.
No, I know that because it's been all over the internet.
Okay. Man has not yet filmed himself walking on the moon in Arizona.
And no, I'm actually just...
or wherever it was supposed to be.
Truthfully, I've been following all the parks.
He is the reason I brought up the conspiracy stuff is because he did such a good job of that film in the special effects of it. Okay,
and they were good.
They were very good. And you think about Star Wars, and the thing is, Star Wars, everybody holds it up as a water benchmark of science fiction special effects,
which it is.
Which it is, yes. But it was massively informed by this. On the giants we shall stand. You know, and this is what happens. When Stanley Kubrick, nobody had brought out anything. I think there was another science fiction film that came out a little bit after this, and I think it was inspired by this, and I remember it as a child, and it was Space 1999.
Don't know it.
I'm going to go off and find it because I remember it at the time and it was rather awful. And I was sitting there as a 7-year-old being a film critic. That's how bad it was. But it was a very hollow affair, and that's why nobody remembers it today. He put an awful lot, I'm sorry, but he put an awful lot of himself into this film. And you're right. Any editor worth their salt would have gone, we only need so much psychedelic stuff to get us through here. But it's in he's put up the title, Space Odyssey. And when you hear the word Odyssey, what does that entail?
Homer?
Yes. A 20-year journey. Yes. And that's what this film feels like.
Yes.
You know?
I mean, you see Dave age. I was actually just thinking while you were talking. I know, right? And I've just realised he probably edited also... Did they record the music first for this? Because a lot of the music... They've let the music continue on for its full thing before cutting to different scenes. They
did full philharmonic...
No, what I'm
recordings of the whole piece, and they'd leave the piece going, and they'd edit the film to the music.
That's what I mean. They haven't said to whoever's written the music, "Hi, we only need 5 minutes. Can you do a shortened version of this piece that you've used here?" He seems to have used every single full piece and hasn't wanted to cut it down.
Yep.
And I mean, each scene was interesting at the very start, but every single scene of this film went too long.
This film, there have been other films that have been called science fiction before this film came along. But this film made science fiction mainstream. Before that, it was slightly pulp fiction-y, and I don't mean pulp fiction-y in
the movie sense.
In Tarantino.
Yeah.
I'm talking 1930s comic pulp fiction, science fiction.
It wouldn't be the same thing.
No, it's not, and it wasn't taken seriously.
They wouldn't have had space. They wouldn't have had these special effects. It wouldn't have looked real. It would have just looked like someone in a costume running around chasing after the girl or whatever.
That's right. This
they had before then.
This put science fiction on the main stage as a legitimate. What we think of is now in science fiction. You know, if we want to sit down and watch a film like Sunshine for whatever reason, you know. Hi, Stu.
Well, question, would you suggest this film to anybody?
I think everybody should watch this. Now, I don't care. Now, this is the difference between you and me. I don't care if they don't like it. I don't give a shit.
I think it's far too long.
No, I don't care. You watch it once in your life and go, okay, I've seen it. And you watch it when you're not a teenager. You watch it when you've actually got a brain.
Yeah, okay.
Right? When you're older and you can appreciate stuff, and you'll watch this in the...
teenagers could appreciate this as long as...
Some, maybe, sure.
Yeah.
I'm not being derogatory towards teenagers necessarily. I'm just saying when you have got a
life experience,
bit of life experience, and you can sit down and watch this, because it does bring an awful lot to the table. And if you've only had a short amount of time on the planet, you're not going to bring as much to that table yourself.
You're not going to get as much out of it as someone with some life experience.
Yes, you need at least 3 or 4 divorces before you can really enjoy this.
Is that why I'm not enjoying it as much?
I didn't want to say. I just think that you enjoy it more when life has battered you down so much that you don't expect anything good to come.
Okay, from a normal person who hasn't had 3 to 4 divorces.
I'm still a romantic.
Look, there were parts of it where I went, oh, I recognise where someone has stolen that or used that or got inspiration from that, and it was interesting. Mm. And there was parts where at the start of the scenes I went, oh, wow, that's done really well. And for a 1968 film, that's pretty amazing.
Yep.
But then I would get bored after they've shot that scene for 4 minutes. And I found the robot stuff interesting, but again...
Hell 2000. What is it? Hell 9000.
HAL, H-A-L.
H-A-L, yep.
What does he say? Dave, can I ask you a personal question?
He really had the creeps on, didn't he? That was a creepy voice, isn't it?
Oh, at the end where he goes, I'm frightened, Dave.
I can't do that, Dave. You know. I once had one of my computers configured, and I used a lot of takes out of 2001, and so that when there was an error come up, I would, like if there was an exception error that pop up, because when you're using Windows 95, you could do that sort of stuff quite easily, and you'd get a lot of exception errors because it's Windows 95, you know, or XP. XP was pretty good. Sorry, I digress. But yeah, and it was all set up to behave like hell.
I bet you can download a thing that says,
I'm such a nerd.
I can't let you do that, Paul.
Look, I thought...
But it was only a short part of the film, really.
But you know what? It was the most intensive part of it.
Oh, no, that was the part that you remember from the film.
Yes.
But the thing is, it wasn't the largest part of the film. It didn't come in till after an hour of the film had been going for an hour before you even get to that point.
Can I just put this for you before you start, you know, pulling out the sabre and just stabbing the poor corpse? That is 2001 with your witty dialect and, you know, judgment.
Witty dialect?
That's it.
When have I ever been witty?
It'll come to me in a minute. I'm sure. I'll go back over some of the episodes. You've said some funny stuff occasionally. That's why I bring you along for the comedy. No, I have no intention of digging myself out of this. Don't be silly.
People can't see us, really.
It's been a long week.
You were saying, Paul?
Fuck you, Pip. I've lost it now.
I can see you go.
No.
Before you start stabbing this blah-de-blah.
Blah-de-blah. No, what I'm trying to say is in 1968, he put together a film which addressed something that we are only now starting to grapple with, and that is, in a very large way, artificial intelligence. And what is intelligence? You know, it is addressed with the... I'm sorry, I'm a little passionate about this film because it's a bit of a holy grail for me, this film. And it's not that I'm going to defend it to the end, because it does have flaws. It is badly edited. I give you that. It is badly edited and it is too long. But I honestly don't think it would have the same level of grandeur if it was shorter. Now,
I think it would.
Perhaps, because...
more people would have watched it.
When it went to the psychedelic section where you were just travelling, I actually had micro sleeps there where I drifted off. Okay? So, yes, I get it. I get that it's too long in certain sections and they should have taken the editor out and shot him. But... Or
filmed it and then asked the composer to do stuff for it.
This film asks huge questions.
First.
And they are questions that are awesomely relevant.
Yes,
and that's what makes it a classic, like 1984.
A lot of people will probably miss all the questions, though.
I don't think so. I don't think people are necessarily all idiots.
I'm not saying all of them are, but I'm saying it's probably... I mean, I think if there'll be a fair few people that will not get the same questions and answers out of it that someone else might. I think it's probably a bit too artistic for that. Not all of us are as smart as you, Paul, and as experienced as you, Paul. I'm sure you got a lot more out of this film than I did, Paul. Paul, can I ask you a personal question?
I'm sorry, Pip, I can't do that.
I'm sorry, Pip, I can't do that.
Now, it is art.
Very much so.
Okay, I think we can both come to that and say that it is art.
Aren't all films supposed to be art?
Well, I think a lot of films strive to be, but if you look at a film...
A lot of them fail, yes.
Yeah, and a lot of them fall very, very far short of that. But some films are not. You look at, take for example, Bodyguard of a Hitman.
Hitman's Bodyguard.
That's the one, yes. You know,
Well,
I only watched it 3 weeks ago and I still can't remember.
I don't think that's supposed to be that arty.
It's not art at all.
No.
It's entertainment, and it is designed to be consumed as such.
But is that what we're looking for nowadays? Entertainment rather than art?
I would hope that we are looking for both.
Oh, but can you find a film that's arty and entertaining?
Yep, Apocalypse Now.
No.
It's Apocalypse Now.
No, it's not arty or entertaining. Neither of the above. None of the above. A, B, or C. C.
I know you have a problem with it, and it's coming soon. We're only about 5 or 6 weeks away from before I'm going to drop it on you. You know it's coming.
Pip, are you feeling better? Excellent. Blah.
Oh, you've got a job now. Excellent. Enjoy.
I've done a lot of writing.
You've done well. You've actually... Pip's been doing very well in the writing stakes. She's been kicking some goals.
Yes.
No, it's okay, Pip.
Don't tell
People can
people.
say nice things about you occasionally. It's not a crime.
Don't tell people.
It's fine. You're doing well.
Thank you.
All right. Still can't understand what a plot is in a movie, but it's fine. All right. Okay. So yes, we both agree it's art. We both agree it's too long.
Well, how many stars do you give it, Paul?
Oh, we're down to 10 tacks, are we?
I want to know. You keep going, oh, Pip, I don't want you to stab it, blah, blah, blah. I want to know how many stars you would give this.
Obviously.
For entertainment.
No, screw your entertainment.
Well, you're the one who says I give stars for
This
entertainment.
This film is more than entertainment, and
It's so much more.
it was filmed before I was born, for Christ's sake, and I'm old.
It was filmed before I was born.
Okay.
It was filmed before, before my parents were married, much
Yes,
earlier.
that's right. Time has marched on, and that's what I'm saying. It is an extraordinary. It's an extraordinary film when you stop and actually think about it, and that's why I think when you are appreciating films, it's an absolute must-do to go back. And that's why I say to everybody, go back and watch this film. You won't necessarily be entertained, but you will appreciate it for what it is, I hope.
I think because so many people and filmmakers and scriptwriters and composers
Yep.
use what what's his name, Stanley Kubrick has done. You will recognise stuff, but gosh, it's long.
Well, you know the opening music, da, da.
It was very nice, but gosh, it went on.
It does. The actual piece, have you ever actually listened to the entire piece from Richard Strauss? Because it's taken off Richard... I can't remember the name of it.
No, he played the whole piece.
No. That's the first 3 minutes of the piece.
How long does it go for?
It goes for about 15 minutes or so.
Oh, gosh.
No. He uses all of his musical drops on that first opening fanfare.
No, it was more than 3 minutes.
Or whatever it is.
It's ages.
It feels ages, Pip.
No. I was watching the clock. I
know how long that opening
Paul,
fanfare is because I used it.
Paul,
I used it on last week's opening title. It's only about 3 minutes.
It's not. It's longer than 3 minutes.
Not.
It sure is.
It's not.
Gosh, I'm going to go back and have a look at that.
That's fine.
Okay.
You waste your time.
I will.
Okay.
It's not time wasted. It's me going, ha-ha.
I'm right, Paul's wrong.
Validation.
You feel validated. Pip, I'm wrong and you're right.
Hey,
How do you go? I've even saved the time.
I'm unemployed. I've got plenty of time.
You're just gonna totally nerd out on me now, aren't you?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Guess what I've been doing with my time off?
Pip's going to come to the recording session next week and she's going to have a beard and everything.
Oh, no.
You've not shaved, Pip.
I haven't had a shave. What do you think?
You're sitting there chewing on a cheap Cuban cigar.